And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 685. Today is Friday, as they say, March 19th, 2021, and I'm King.
I'm Bitcoin Zay, and we're here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community Monday through Friday at 10ish.
I thought that do not disturb on. And today's top stories: Bitcoin is now too important to ignore, Deutsche Bank says. I think I remember them getting hacked. Bank of America claims it costs just $93 million to move Bitcoin's price by 1%. Federal Reserve's Powell says CBDCs need to coexist with cash. Canadian property firm buys Bitcoin in hopes of eventually scraping condo fees. And fiat food, Bitcoin Big Mac index crashes below 10,000 Satoshis for the first time ever. I love these food indexes. But first and foremost, Bitcoin's what is going on with these prices?
Oh, yeah. So let's take a look at the prices today for Bitcoin at $58,229, up 5.1%. Ethereum at $1,807, up 1.5%. Binance Coin at $264 is down 0.4%. Cardano at $1.27, down almost 10%. Huge drop after a gain yesterday. Polkadot at $38, up 5.6%. Ripple at 47 cents, up 1.76%. Uniswap, $31 is up 1.7%. Litecoin, a touch above $200 at 201 is down 0.19%. And Chainlink at $29.96 is up 0.77%. Those are your prices for the top 10 today. Again, a mixture of green and red as we continue our sideways movement. We've seen a push up to 62. We've seen a push down to 55. We've seen it go back up to 60. Then we saw back down to 58. People, nothing's happened. Everybody is like up, down, all around. Calm down. And with a lot of altcoins, like for example, Cardano shot up to $1.40, I think, and then right back to 127. So it's still sideways movement. No need to panic.
And it's actually in a great position at 127. Again, that for it to shoot up to 142, that came off the news of it being listed on Coinbase Pro. Again, that listing came out yesterday. It was listed on Coinbase Pro yesterday. Price shot up because of that, but it didn't sustain because, of course, most regular people don't use Coinbase Pro. That's for more advanced traders. So people are hoping it also get listed on Coinbase itself. If that happens, I think we might be looking at XRP 2017. It going to $2 and some change, if not $3, based off the hype and not having a working project. I love this space.
Now I want to see Ripple go to $10 in one day, and then right back down to $1 or less right after it. Just because the day that they would go up like that amount, you would have the Ripple army just flooding the streets. I told you. It would just be hilarious to me to see.
It'll be like the bounce back on BitConnect.
Exactly. Yeah, the one bounce up and did like 200% one day.
I told y'all it was gonna come back. I didn't say how long.
Back. Yeah, you might have a couple hours and you better not be asleep.
I know, right? Came back for 2.5 hours. All right. What's going on, crypto warriors? Notes from Jew. Happy Friday, and let's keep learning crypto. Found blessings. Madam Crypto, Gene W, Phil G, Tessa Hall, Wendy Nichols, Kadeem Midget, Torrance J Playlist, Helen Diva Style, Justin Brunt, Les Square, Fumble the Face, D Chiron, Timothy Grigsby, Lisa Leaf and TZ, JCB Expressions, Christopher Land, 100% Rotten Podcast. What up, though? Too Rich to Miss, Omar Banks, Mark Mondano from North Carolina, Erica K, Carmelo, what's going on? Hello all. Thank you, everybody, for those articles as well as emails for those, again, for that Sotheby's, which I'm probably still saying wrong, expression, the wording for it. I appreciate it. I was still getting some on Twitter yesterday, so I appreciate those. Top story of the day. Bitcoin is now too important to ignore, Deutsche Bank says. Again, I mean, these articles are beyond disrespectful, but true, but beyond disrespectful. They basically saying, forget everybody who's been in this space thus long. Like, you all were ignorable. Now it's unignorable. Global banking giant Deutsche Bank expects governments to start regulating Bitcoin by the end of 2021. If they're coming out saying it, people, that means that somebody in the government told them this is probably going to happen.
Yes.
Bitcoin's market capitalization of $1 trillion and potential for continued growth have made the cryptocurrency, quote, too important to ignore, according to Deutsche Bank analysts. talking about getting to the party late. What's going on with Deutsche Bank? And is this the same bank who was hacked literally 2 or 3 years ago around the same time Bitcoin pumped?
Oh yeah, Deutsche Bank. This is the their research. They actually created this report titled "The Future of Payments, Series 2, Part 3: Bitcoins. Can the Tinkerbell Effect Become a Self-Fulfilling Prophecy?" In the 18-page study, Deutsche Bank described the basic characteristics of Bitcoin and analyzed the key drivers of its historical price growth to $1 trillion. And they said, well, they suggested the Bitcoin price could continue to rise as long as asset managers and companies continue to enter the market. The funny thing about that statement is they're one of the companies that are about to enter the market. So they're basically giving themselves a self-fulfilling prophecy, like price is probably going to go up because more companies are going to join, aka us and other banks. But I do want to jump back to that first statement they made to show you how much how these banks really are some hoes. Deutsche Bank expects government to start regulating by the end of 2021. I bet they want that because they need daddy government to come in and intervene every time there is some sort of bad thing that goes on with the banking industry. The banks go run to the government. Can you please bail us out? Can you please regulate this? Can you please take this innovation out of our way so that we can continue to succeed? Too bad they're too late, and too bad that they can't stop it. That's the biggest thing. Again, once you realize you can't do anything to stop it, what do? You start saying it's terrible. You start saying it's great. Whatever you do, at that point, you either join or you just got to double down on what you've been saying before. So, and Deutsche Bank's in their analysis, they're sort of in the joining aspect, but then we'll get the Bank of America in a little bit. They're just doubling down on their terrible takes.
Right, as you said, as we've been talking about, the war is already over, people. Crypto already won. It's here to stay. Digital currency, but these are the bloody battles.
Mm-hmm.
And as we always mention, like, they're drawing lines in the sand. Like, it's gang time. People, everyone's drawing their line. Everyone's picking different sides.
Mm-hmm.
Deutsche has, though late in the game, it's called the North Carolina Deutsche since they wanted to succeed last, but at least I guess they did it. But they're going over to the crypto side. They've drawn their line in the sand. But like you said, we'll get to the Bank of America in a second. I think I agree with you as far as them. They're calling for regulators. It's not that, regulators just didn't call a bank that wasn't interested in crypto and said, hey, we know you're not doing anything with crypto, but we want to let you know personally we'll be regulating crypto at the end of the year. No.
Tattletales.
Right, exactly. Deutsche was filling out that last signatory paperwork, wherever it was. They were even filling something out, or the government got wind of it. And those two talking, they was like, hey, just to let you know we're going to do this. Or like you said, from Deutsche point of view, which I could probably see it happening even more clear, where it's like, hey, we plan to do this. It's a bunch of companies out there that we can't compete with because they got a 12-year head start. We need you to get them out of there for us.
Yeah.
That's what we've been seeing happen.
Exactly. This is the little kid that goes to get his big brother to fight his battles every time you get beat up. Like, hey, you can't keep getting beat up going to run and get your big brother. At some point, we're gonna be like, man, forget your big brother. You're gonna get jumped.
Okay. Crypto Culture, thank you for the tip. Gang, what's good, Kangs? Crypto Culture gave us a tip the other day too, talking about some STEMI package. So I was like, all right, there we go. Definitely appreciate that. What's going on, Ivan Tibbs? First time I seen that name. Anthony Ross, what's going on? Anthony Ross said, I just came here to say, buck the banks. Oh, there we go. Yeah, get rid of them banks. There we go. Sotheby's. Thank you, Carmelo, again. Sotheby's. That does clear it up. It is official. I got it. Crypto Culture, I thank you for mentioning that as well. People, 10,000 on the way, 10K on the way. We have been going after this 10K day for a while. And we are almost there. We are at 8,631 subs. I know you all know 1,400 people, okay? Like and share, like and share, like and share. Let's get this up to $10,000 so we can really get this show rolling over here. And with that being said, Deutsche Bank picking one side, Bank of America, as its name states, I mean, it's Bank of Gang. They are claiming the party line. That's right. Bank of America says they know who feeds them. They will never bite that hand. Bank of America claims it costs just $93 million to move Bitcoin's price by 1%. That is right. Bank of America strategists have estimated that it takes inflows of just $93 million to move Bitcoin's price by 1%. Before Bitcoin's Day goes into this article, want to point out something. Bank of America has been on a tear lately. This is their second or third article and negative talking point about Bitcoin in the last, I think 48 to 72 hours. which makes it even scarier and weirder that Bank of America has 3 inflammatory comments about crypto in the last few days. You have Deutsche Bank coming out saying, hey, expect regulated by the end of the year. And then at the beginning of the week, we had it started by Ray Dalio coming out saying, hey, some big news on the horizon in the next week or two. I'm pretty sure about this, or I know for certain, or whatever he said, right? So that's 3 different sources from banks essentially saying it's some big things happening, or at least pointing in that direction. What is Bank of America talking about? What are they going on about now with this 90? Just off the top of my head, anecdotally, it doesn't even sound right, because I'm like, if that's true, then why wouldn't a billionaire just put all their money in it and make a ton of money overnight right now?
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing about reports like this. They basically use Glassnode as their reference for the same data. Unfortunately, just some simple math, just off the top of my head, just thinking about this. If it takes 2 billion to move the price of gold 1%, and we are 10% of their market cap, what's 10% of 2 billion? 200 million. So I don't know where they got this $93 million number from. They tried to say it was because of supply. Most people who own Bitcoin have not moved it. The problem is that may not be true forever. They may move it at some point. They may sell it at some point. You don't know that. So if that's the metric they're using, that's already stupid to start. Let's also get into the fact that they had this report out, and Bank of America basically said that Bitcoin is dirty, slow, volatile, and impractical. 3 ways to describe Bitcoin. And it's funny because the way they described it was in a devastating report. It's not that devastating at all. Devastating report entitled Bitcoin's Dirty Little Secrets. Analyst says there's no good reason to own Bitcoin unless you see the prices going up. Now, let me explain to these entitled douchebags on Wall Street that don't understand that all around the world, there is hyperinflation going on in countries where using Bitcoin is a matter of life and death. And we're so spoiled in America to have a relatively stable currency that they think, hey, this is just an investment to make more money. In reality, this is survival against the bullshit that y'all do year in and year out. You're a part of the process of making our economy worse. Your business model is outdated. You just got Zelle. I know 15-year-olds that could have created Zelle, and that was y'all's technological advancement. And then B of A also said they were largely driven by institutional buyers announcing big purchases. Yeah, if more big purchases get into it, then that's what does it. The thing is, those people with a lot of money have not entered the market. It's still only a small percentage. And also this quote here, Bitcoin has also become correlated to risk assets. It is not tied to inflation and remains exceptionally volatile, making it an impractical as a store of wealth or payments mechanism. What hogwash is this? Meaning that because it's not tied to inflation, making it impractical as a store of wealth? No, the reason why you think it's volatile is because you look at the price movement every day. If you look long-term, 99.8% of people who ever bought Bitcoin are in profit as we speak right now. And B of A, of course, they have to make this argument because daddy government and Big Daddy Warren Buffett will not let them come out and say anything different. And this last quote here, as such, the main portfolio argument for holding Bitcoin is not diversification, stable returns, or inflation protection, but rather sheer price appreciation. If that was true, you would have had a lot of people who would have gotten out in 2017 forever and never came back. And the fact that they put that there only shows that Bank of America hasn't done their homework, and there's still a bunch of incompetent nitwits who continue to work with the government and with the enemy to create war through their fiat dollars. So I really don't have anything else to say about Bank of America from this point, except what the title of this entire show is: F Bank of America as a staff, a record label, and a crew.
Bars. Woo,
let me hear
man.
Get them out of here.
That is crazy. And it's funny. I'm glad you mentioned the title because I was laughing earlier because I never see the title you put in, so I'm about to click on it to see the comments, and I saw it. I was like, man, you're a fool. I mean, again, people, I am glad they're showing their ass because we tell you these stories like 2016, people, I come back from a military deployment and I'm being sat in a Bank of America office like a child being asked about to me, in my view, at this point, it's a civilian asked me about my money after I just got off deployment. I don't care who you are. I was not in a happy mood. So I'm just like, what? Is this real right now? Exactly. But they sat me down in their office in 2016 asking me why am I buying Bitcoin with my money, freezing my accounts. And this is why I'm still an active duty military personnel coming off deployment, trying to move to LA, use my money, bank and do everything else and start a business with Bitcoin Zay. And all at the same time, they fucking with it. Like this is them showing their ass. They've been doing this for years. I'm glad they're actually coming out in the public saying these remarks. So you all know that our stories about Bank of America's of the world. Who was the one that works with Chase that shut us down? The payment processing people.
I can't even remember.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but
Yeah,
it's too many.
Yeah, and they all of a sudden they all on crypto too now. I'm looking at them like, oh, so people, I am glad that Bank of America is at the very least standing tall for what they believe in. They're going down with the ship. Bank of America is Bank of America for a reason. They're not Bank of England. They're not Chase. They're not one of these other banks that can hide their affiliation. They made their gang affiliation known and strong. So as Bitcoins, they say they're going down with the ship, and I can't say any more than what you did. I mean, you destroyed them for sure.
Oh yeah, get them out of here. We smoking that Bank of America pack soon.
I was gonna say just soon. Carmelo, all right. Carmelo says sell like bro. There we go. Sotheby's. There it is. Sotheby's auction house. Boom. I got it, folks. What's going on, Damon King? I'm mad sake and fumble the face. Ty McDuffel, of course. Ty McDuffel said, can Raleigh get a shout out? What do you mean, can Raleigh get a shout out? Wolfpack in the house, people.
Let's
NC
go.
State here.
NC State all day, baby.
All day. Can it get a shout out? That's still home.
Oh, yeah. The only thing I don't like about Raleigh is the cops. They don't have nothing to do.
Knew you're
so
gonna
they sit on the highway all day.
I already knew you were going to go with it.
Anybody never drove between Raleigh and Virginia? Boy, you better go 60. Don't even go 65. You can't even go to speed limit. Them cops is ruthless out there.
I will say on the super extreme low, when I first graduated, one of the reasons why I didn't come back is because I had like so many parking tickets, and I was like, I ain't paying them. I was like, bro, I'm moving back to Detroit. Like, paying them hey, tell me why it was like 3 years later. It was like at least 3 or 4 years later. I was like I actually was on my first deployment, believe it or not. And my taxes and everything came back in like a large little chunk was taken out. I was like, wait, what's money getting? Like, I already pay so much in taxes. And then I saw it said like Raleigh, North Carolina. So I was like, Raleigh. Oh, bro,
they got you
later. I want to give a shout out to F Your Feelings question in the super chat. Thank you for the tip. What's your opinion on this Pi cryptocurrency, Bitcoin Zay?
From what I've seen, they won't let you actually use Pi for like a while. Somebody actually just said, yeah, Kenzie, you can't trade the coin for like 3 years. Anything that you can't use yourself, I would say, is a scam. Also, if it's mining within your phone to create more of this Pi cryptocurrency, I would leave it alone. Anything that's giving you gains from mining at this point, they're lying to you. This is 2014. I say go for it just to see, but we're past that time now. If you don't have a few $1 million and 100,000 square feet, you're not mining anything. That's valuable.
I just saw another article come out actually about that, where they were saying some type of new mining you can do for Bitcoin. I was like, it's already it sounds shaky already, but it's super late for that. And speaking of new things to get Bitcoin, it's funny. Also, an article came out. I didn't want to cover it, but mention it. An article came out with Warren Buffett was quoted as what to do with the stimulus check. And of course, I give him props. Like, of course, one of them would pay off debt. I agree with that. He went through real estate with it, and I think he also said like stocks and stuff, like even Berkshire Hathaway. But I'm just like, you still not even gonna tell people like 2.5% crypto? You're not on board yet, buddy?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. All right. More news from the government. Federal Reserve's Powell says CBDCs need to coexist with cash. That is right. The Fed chairman spoke at a virtual payments conference hosted by the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision. That is right. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said Thursday central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, will need to coexist with cash. Speaking at a virtual payments conference hosted by the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision, Powell cited a report on CBDCs from the Bank for International Settlements, that's Jigglypuff that Bitcoin Zay loves, and a group of 7 central banks, including the Fed. One of the 3 key principles highlighted in the report is that a CBDC needs to coexist with cash and other types of money in a flexible and innovative payment system, Powell said. Improvements in the global payment system will come not just from the public sector, but from the private sector as well. I want to highlight that last statement and sentence he just made because he made it to cover his ass. Improvements in the global payment system will come not just from the public sector, like you and I, where it should come from, but from the private sector as well, as in the Bank of International Settlements and 7 other central banks. Why is our federal government getting direction from 8 private companies, all being led by the same 2 or 3 people? Makes zero sense to me, but that is what's going on, which is why that last sentence says not just from the public sector, but the private sector being banks. And again, this is the Federal Reserve chair, again, who is Federal Reserve, private company, but for some reason it has access to all types of federal control and gets along perfectly with the government, is getting led by 7 to 8 private different other banks, and they're going to determine the direction. Whatever, right? We're not going to stop that from happening. Gang, that is going to happen. What's more important to me about this story is just knowing the direction our government's trying to go in. They want to do a hybrid, right? They want to do CBDCs. They definitely want to do stable coins, CBDCs, regular fiat currency, and by no choice, they're going to have to do cryptocurrency. So essentially 3 to 4 different payment mechanisms or store values, wherever you want to call it. And I think that's important because as more projects come out, as new tokens come out, the projects that are these hybrid projects trying to fuse different, whether it's different blockchains together, different stable coins, wherever, different everything, the projects that are working to bridge all these gaps together, I think will be the valuable ones to go after. That's what I take from the story, because we're not going to beat gang on this one.
Yeah, exactly. And again, shout out to the BIS chief, Jigglypuff. This is who's trying to tell you or tell our leaders what to do with CBDCs. This isn't Jerome Powell. This is actually Chief Carstens for the Bank of International Settlements. Again, people, look at these people and then look at us. We are way ahead of them. These are the fat cats sitting there trying to make the rules for us. Jerome Powell is an employee. And in my opinion, they are all some hoes to me. They listen to the people above them without any recourse. And again, the threat of whatever comes with that, I'm willing to go with it, but apparently these people aren't, because they just listen to big old daddy government. And it sucks to see, but we can see where they're going. Back in 2018, we saw the CBDC play coming. And then earlier in 2020, we talked about when the comptroller made it legal for banks to hold. We said it. They're going to try and fuse it together to make it seem like we have the safe crypto. We have the safe digital currency. Bitcoin's too volatile. And what does Bank of America's report say? You know what I mean? So we can see this coming. They got to put out the FUD, but yeah, this is disheartening to say the least, but we'll still push through it.
Yeah, and it's like you said too. It is crazy to it's crazy to see. Oh, super chat too. Thank you for the tip. It is. I'm losing my thought right now because I was reading this article at the same time. It is crazy to see some of their stance on it, even knowing they know what's up. But again, that just goes with the game is being played. You're not going to beat it. So at this point, if you're not going to beat some of these little things they're doing, like the Federal Reserve, we know is a private business. You're not going to get rid of them though. And that brings me back to my point I was thinking about. I lost it. They're setting it up so that banks can naturally win out on cryptocurrency companies, because they say we're just going to do CBDCs and we're just going to do stable coins, CBDCs, digital currencies, cryptocurrencies, whatever. Then you actually do not need banks any longer, period.
At all.
Right. Literally the likes of Coinbase would win, the likes of Kraken and Binance. Those would be the big winners. And none of those toed the party line over on Wall Street. Coinbase is probably the closest one to do it. Gemini's 50-50, toe in, toe out, which is why they kind of only give them some credit. But the rest of these companies, especially the ones that aren't headquartered in the US, they already know will not toe the party line. So I think they're making it clear that they want this hybrid system with fiat currency as well as CBDCs and crypto to coexist, so that we still have to go through banks for the fiat CBDC part. Again, though, all it's going to take is that one killer company, which already exists. I mean, if the likes of Google, Facebook, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, if they were all to come together and say, we're doing business in cryptocurrency, the government would have no choice but to do business in cryptocurrency. Like overnight, we will have all type of payment methods. So,
oh man,
something to consider. Want to give a shout out for these tips that are coming in. Thank you. T. Shep said, what's your view about Holochain?
Not familiar with it, but we can go through it on Talk Shop Live on Sundays.
Yeah, we'll take a peek.
Yeah.
He threw that in a super chat, so we'll take a
So
peek
we'll
at
take a peek.
we'll take a peek at Holochain. Definitely get back to you. Mike O Show. I love what you're doing for the people. This platform should be bigger. How do we feel about Omni? OMI. So, folks, for all the questions about coins, you have all these specific questions about coins. Make sure you bring these to the Sunday show. We want to make sure we can get through the news here and then have time to research and give you our opinion and views about all of these coins. So definitely come on that Sunday show, Talk Shop Live, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, and we will definitely answer these questions as well for you. Did you have anything about Omni right now up top?
Not up top, but yeah, show up on Talk Shop Live. We'll have something for you.
Right. And the reason why we have to do it like this as quick aside, people, at this point there, I mean, if you wanted to, you can hit us with a new project every day. It's literally no keeping up with it, right? So we want to make sure we have our chance to do our due diligence and not just give you some BS answer like, what do you mean what we mean? Moon, baby. We could answer that. Like, what moon is what we mean? Give it 2 weeks. Yeah. So we want to make sure we give you the real on it. So check that out. All right. Canadian property firm buys Bitcoin in hopes of eventually scraping condo fees. What's going on here?
Oh, yeah. So this firm bought 0.4 Bitcoin and plans to buy more every month. The Saskatchewan-based Thornton Place Condominium Corp is hoping to eventually do away with condo fees by investing in Bitcoin. Let's give them a hand clap for even coming up with that. I mean, at the end of the day, the reason why this story is important to me is if Bitcoin is going to be money, you have 3 stages: store value, medium of exchange, unit of account. Where the store value place, medium of exchange is going to happen because people are going to do things like this. They're going to use Bitcoin as their store value, and then they can make everything cheaper. That's the promise of Bitcoin: peer-to-peer payments where the price of goods goes down. This is one example of that, where if you have a condo, you can actually decrease the fees using it as your backup. And to go through the story, they purchased 25,000 through Kraken, about 0.4 Bitcoin. At an average price of 52,000. The buy is the first of an ongoing series planned purchases. They've allocated an additional 700 Canadian dollars to the purchase of Bitcoin going forward. They'll take direct physical custody instead of a custodial service. No keys, no cheese, right? And they say they see a 10-year time horizon for the investment and has taken the first steps, which will lead to the elimination of fees for residents. Think about that, people. Think if every business or every small business decided we're going to put $1,000, $2,000 worth of our treasury into Bitcoin every year, so that 5 years from now, we never have to charge fees again, or we never have to upsell anything, or we beat inflation to the point where poorer communities never have an uptick in price. Because I remember going to the store and chips 25 cents, and then they were 50, then they were $1. Now they're $1.29. So I remember all that. Imagine them having Bitcoin and being able to say, nope, our chips are still 25 cents, same as still as 95. Because you beat inflation with Bitcoin, you don't have to worry about raising prices on the front end. And that to me is way more important than anything anybody has to say about an investment. The lowering of prices so more people can buy goods is great. And these people with condos, if they don't have to pay a fee, will save money, ultimately circulating more money around, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point.
There it is. I'm with you too. And that was my thoughts when it comes to the government. It's like, all right, you catch criminals with cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, whatever, you confiscate it, stop reselling it, keep it. Keep the crypto you confiscate, governments, keep the crypto that you mine yourself if you're mining, keep the crypto that you get your hands on. If the government gets their hands on cryptocurrency, stop selling it, stop giving it back, just keep it, and we don't have to worry about all this other stuff. So, I mean, that goes the same with taxes. Like, if we never sold all the cryptocurrency we've confiscated as the United States government, we wouldn't even have to have a conversation about crypto taxes. Like, honestly, at this point, we wouldn't even have a conversation as much as about this pandemic relief. It'd be like, oh yeah, you remember the extra 600 million we have from doing nothing but just sitting on some fake money? Like, we're in the, we can use this for something. So I am with you and with this story. And speaking of real estate, shout out to one of our crypto warriors, Lisa Lee. She is all into real estate investment trust. So you see her in the in the chat all the time. Make sure you reach out to her and figure out if they're doing anything like this, or her thoughts on the future of this. This would be pretty cool to see from some real estate folks, especially here in the US, to see if this can happen as well. All right. Last but not least, Fiat Food, Bitcoin Big Mac Index crashes below 10,000 Satoshis for the first time ever.
Mm.
Bitcoin's a what's going on in this Big Mac index? I remember the
Oh
bacon
yeah.
index. Now we have a Big Mac index.
Yeah, or as it's called, the Big Sats Index reveals that a single McDonald's burger costs less than 10,000 satoshis, cheaper than ever before. This type of these type of indexes, people like you said, bacon. People use it with other foods. This one now just happens to be Big Macs. Some people have done it with Lambos. I remember there was a Lambo index to see. Remember, it was like how many Bitcoins have a Lambo. And that's decreasing as well. But the Big Sats Index measures how much a Big Mac costs based on the famous Big Mac Index from The Economist. This came out in 1986, so it's sort of a parody of that. The Bitcoin equivalent is something of a tongue-in-cheek commentary on both fiat and food. As Saifedean argues in the Bitcoin Standard, my guy, both the trillion-dollar forex market and the rise of nutritionally controversial burgers are the results of the abandonment of gold standard and the embrace of money with no supply limit. So around 60K, a whole Bitcoin buys a whopping 10,400 Big Macs, and a single burger only sets you back about 9,600 Satoshis. And again, if you look at this chart, it's getting lower and lower every single year. And at some point, if we have one sat to $1 parity, that means you'll be able to buy 3 Big Macs for 3 Satoshis. If that day comes in the future, basically all these people that were buying it, you just bought a $9,600 burger. So again, you probably want to hold, but at the same time, this is funny to look at. Just one of the things that make this space so great, very creative. And just one thing you can, I mean, there's sites where you can put, if I would have bought this, if I wouldn't have bought this, I would have more Bitcoin. This is just one example.
There it is. I'm over here laughing at the comments. Cassie Nelson said all the haters will be the new generation of pushing carts begging. That's hilarious. Ruben said Bitcoin is going to win the NCAA. S1 Dubs, the government will be the major crypto hacker in 5 years in the name of national security, of course. I can see that as well. And yes, the Real Skill Will and let's see, Melvin Packer, these questions you have, make sure you bring those questions to us on Sunday, Talk Shop Live, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. And also for specific questions, like you're asking about the crypto app in general, like that's something you ask the app.
Yeah, you got to ask support that.
Yeah, you gotta ask support that. We can't answer specific support questions from the different websites and apps themselves. So no, Erica K, that was Lisa Lee, who's into the real estate as well. So shout out to Lisa, put her name in the chat too. And she's in the chat right now. So shout out to Lisa Lee as well. Boom, there it is. You have anything else for today, Bitcoin Zay?
One quick thing. Remember Sunday, we are giving away 1 million Satoshis. We'll be asking questions. We'll be asking trivia. We'll have on Lamar Wilson from Black Bitcoin Billionaires. 1 million Satoshis is about $600. I'm looking at the wallet right now. 1 million Satoshis is about $600. You have the opportunity to win it all, or some people are going to win pieces. Either way, we're giving it away for $2. You join us on Talk Shop Live. You get your questions answered. You win 1 million Satoshis. You also get some great information from throughout the week. So yes, that's tomorrow. That's Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, Talk Shop Live. Join the channel now if you haven't already. Should be in the chat.
All right. As always, thanks for watching and the support this week. Let's make sure we smash that like and share on these videos. We are on the race to 10K. Can we get it done before the end of March? That is the real question. We can get this 10K done before Q1. We can track with Bitcoin. We can be at 100K by the end of the year. Let's get it going.
Let's do it.